Locked away behind this gate is the biggest set of clandestine graves in Mexico. But criminal groups appear to have used this land in the state of Veracruz to dump at least 250 victims in a series of pits.
Hi and welcome to True Crime, a channel dedicated to the dark underworld of criminal activity carried out by gangsters, mobsters, cartel leaders, and others. Today, we will be discussing a disturbing discovery made in Mexico earlier this year, an old water park that could be the country's largest narco mass grave. The grave is believed to contain the remains of dozens, if not hundreds, of victims of drug-related violence. Join us as we delve into the details of this shocking find. Let's get started. Number 1. Background. In early 2021, authorities in Mexico received an anonymous tip about the presence of human remains at an abandoned water park in the city of La Primavera. When they arrived at the site, they were confronted with a gruesome scene, dozens of bodies scattered across the park's grounds. The remains were badly decomposed, indicating that the killings had taken place over a long period. The grave is believed to be the work of the CJNG, one of Mexico's most violent and powerful drug cartels. The organization has been responsible for thousands of deaths in recent years, using brutal tactics such as beheadings, torture, and mass killings. Around the towns of Zamora, Jiquilpan, and Sauyaya, as well as other municipalities, are the Los Negritos region, where rival Jalisco cartel gangs are fighting over a piece of the territory. Zamora has just been named the most dangerous city in the world in 2021 according to a study done by a Mexican organization. Number 2. Details. The discovery of the mass grave has been a significant development in the ongoing fight against drug-related violence in Mexico. It is believed to be one of the largest such graves ever discovered in the country, and it has brought renewed attention to the issue of organized crime and the drug trade. The CJNG is known for its ruthless tactics and its desire to expand its territory and influence. The organization has been responsible for numerous acts of violence across Mexico, including the killing of police officers, politicians, and innocent civilians. The victims of the CJNG's violence come from all walks of life. Many are innocent bystanders caught up in the crossfire of cartel wars, while others are rival gang members or members of law enforcement. The discovery of the mass grave at the water park is a sobering reminder of the human cost of the drug trade. Around 25 corpses were reportedly retrieved from the Los Negritos Lake in the Villamor municipality of the state of Michoacan over the preceding 3 weeks, according to a Monday report in the Mexican news outlet El Universal. The remains were reportedly found on June 11th at the Los Negritos Nature Reserve in Michoacan, according to local accounts cited by Vice News. Families and activists looked for their missing loved ones. To put pressure on the government to look for victims inside the park, sources state that those involved in the search stopped a busy motorway. The mud pits, which El Universal now calls a narco cemetery, are believed by activists to contain other bodies that may still be there. Activists estimate that up to 500 victims could be buried there. Mexican authorities claim that 8 of the bones found in Los Negritos, Mexico, have already been identified, largely using clothes and dental information. Although DNA testing may be the only technique that can still be utilized to positively identify them, 17 of the victims who had been discovered as of Sunday remained unidentified. Several families who believe the mud pits may hold the bodies of missing family members are putting pressure on authorities. Isis del Roco Macas Gracian, according to Mexico Daily News, is said to have discovered the group known as San Pedro Caro and Busqueta de Angels, or St. Pedro Caro in Search of Angels. Her sibling was taken hostage, she claimed. Afterward, authorities nearby discovered him dead. Her hometown was San Pedro Caro, Michoacan. According to Macas Gracian, more bodies were purportedly buried at the Los Negritos Narco Cemetery, some of which may have been there for 7 or 8 years. Some of the bodies might not have been found yet, she said, because the area is in a geothermal zone with dangerous volcanic vents. She went on to say that many of the bodies might be in the lake or the wells that were bubbling. The Associated Press reports that in La Barca in 2013, authorities discovered more than 50 bodies in mass graves. These interments supposedly have anything to do with the Jalisco cartel. A portion of the Los Negritos area is at war between rival Jalisco cartel groups, and it is close to the town of La Barca and other towns such as Zamora, Jiquilpan, and Sauyaya. Zamora has just been named the world's most dangerous city of 2021 according to a study done by a Mexican organization. The bodies of opponents or victims of kidnapping are regularly buried in secret mounds by Mexican drug gangs. Mexico has currently lost track of more than 100,000 people. Some individuals are concerned that the remains recovered in the most recent mass grave to be uncovered in Mexico may belong to persons who were involved in an incident that happened earlier this year in the municipality of San Jose de Garca, which is about 60 kilometers away from where the graveyard was found. Armed assailants stormed a funeral in San Jose de Garca in February, lined the mourners up against a wall, and slaughtered an estimated 17 people. The attackers took the bodies away after the killing. An activist who requested anonymity claimed the bodies they removed from San Jose burial may very well be here. They utilized this park as a disposal site for their opponents because it is nicely hidden, but also because of the spring waters. The bodies melt with the heat. With its naturally hot, acidic waters surrounded by volcanic rocks, Los Negritos Park draws both families and tourists. The park was closed as a result of a decline in tourists brought on by the increase in violence in the area. According to official statistics, Mexico's homicide rates have been slowing down since last year, but the number of cases in which murderers steal their victims remains is increasing. A tourist guide who attempted to flee the murderer inside the chapel was also killed last month along with 2 Jesuit priests in a church in the northern state of Chihuahua. The 3 victims' remains were removed from the crime scene and later discovered 200 kilometers north. Other bodies are still being sought by authorities in the park. This may be the largest unmarked grave in Mexican modern history if what campaigners claim is accurate. In short, the discovery of the potential mass grave at the abandoned water park in La Primavera is a shocking reminder of the brutal violence that continues to plague Mexico. The CJNG, one of the country's most powerful and violent criminal organizations, has been responsible for thousands of deaths in recent years, and the victims come from all walks of life. While the discovery of the mass grave is a positive development in the ongoing fight against drug-related violence, it is clear that much more needs to be done to address the root causes of the problem. The Mexican government has launched numerous crackdowns on organized crime in recent years, but the violence and corruption that have long plagued the country continue to persist. We must continue to shine a light on the issue of organized crime and drug trafficking and demand that those responsible for these atrocities be held accountable. Only then can we hope to bring an end to the cycle of violence and corruption that has gripped Mexico for far too long. Thank you for watching another amazing video from our True Crime team. Like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned to our next real-life true crime video.